There are some places in this world that you should never go to. They're hiding secrets so dark they shouldn't be disturbed. And then there's Kisaragi Station, a place that might just be the creepiest station in the world. This is my channel. And today I'm going to tell you the terrifying truth behind Kisaragi Station. It all started when a user on Reddit posted a very peculiar thread. He spoke about a train station that he had visited one late night. Everything seemed normal at first. It was just another run-of-the-mill train station. But as soon as our protagonist stepped onto the platform, things started to get weird. That was because he had inadvertently just entered the Twilight Zone. Our protagonist starts to notice strange details that he hadn't before. For example, the platform seemed to be incredibly long. He looked up and down the tracks but couldn't see the end of either. There were no station markers or signs indicating where he was. In fact, he couldn't even see any other passengers. As he waited for his train, he started to feel uncomfortable. It was as if something was watching him. He turned around and saw what can only be described as the creepiest scene. Standing in front of him were dozens upon dozens of wooden dolls, all staring directly at him. Our protagonist was terrified. He had never seen anything like it. Then from the corner of his eye, he noticed something moving. One of the dolls was slowly turning its head. At first he thought he was imagining things, but as he watched, the doll turned its head completely. It was now looking directly at him. And then it did something even more disturbing. The doll opened its mouth and let out a blood-curdling scream. Then all of the dolls started moving. They were all screeching at the top of their lungs and making erratic movements. Overwhelmed with fear, our protagonist ran away as fast as he could. He didn't stop running until he got home. But when he looked over his shoulder, he could have sworn he saw the dolls outside his window, still screaming and flailing their arms. Our protagonist tried to tell his friends and family what he had seen, but they just laughed in his face. Nobody believed him. So he decided to go back to the station to prove them wrong. When he got there, everything seemed normal. The dolls were lined up neatly, and there wasn't a single sign of them moving. Our protagonist couldn't believe what he was seeing. Had he imagined the whole thing? Was he going crazy? He wanted to leave, but then he spotted something strange. One of the dolls was missing. Searched and searched, but he couldn't find it anywhere. Then suddenly, he felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned around and saw a woman standing there. She was smiling creepily and gesturing towards the missing doll. Then she did something that made our protagonist's blood run cold. She reached out her hand and grabbed the doll. She then looked at our protagonist and said, "Found her." Terrified, our protagonist ran away as fast as he could. He didn't stop running until he got home. But when he looked over his shoulder, he could have sworn he saw the dolls outside his window, still screaming and flailing their arms. After that, our protagonist tried to avoid going outside, but the dolls were everywhere. They were in the park, they were in the trees, they were even in his house. He couldn't escape them. No matter where he went, the dolls followed. And then one day, they stopped coming after him. Maybe they were finally giving up. Maybe they were done playing with him. Maybe they were just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That's because one night our protagonist was awoken in the middle of the night by a knock at the door. He got up and cautiously approached the door. He could hear what sounded like whispers on the other side. They were getting louder and louder, and then suddenly, the door burst open. Standing in front of him was the woman from before. She was smiling creepily and gesturing for our protagonist to follow her. Without hesitation, our protagonist followed the woman outside. She led him to a nearby park, and then stopped. She turned around and said, "You found me?" And then she vanished. Suddenly, all of the dolls came running out of the trees. They were screaming and flailing their arms. They surrounded our protagonist and started to attack him. He tried to fight them off, but there were just too many. They scratched and bit him, and then one of them did something that made his blood run cold. One of the dolls opened up its mouth and swallowed his entire arm. And then our protagonist woke up in the middle of the night in his bed. It had all been a dream, or so he thought. That's because when he looked down, he saw that he was still bleeding. His arm was still mangled, and the scratches and bites were still visible. To this day, our protagonist still doesn't know what happened to him that night. Was it a dream, or was it real? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But this is where the story takes a turn for the worst. That's because there are actually photos of this doll-infested subway station, and it's actually real. This is not some creepypasta story that you read online. This place is really here, and people are really scared of it. In 2017, a man named Nobu posted photos of the station on Twitter and warned others to stay away. He claimed that the station was haunted by the spirits of people who had died there. Some believe that these spirits take the form of dolls and attack those who enter the station. Others believe that the dolls are simply possessed by evil spirits. Whatever the case may be, the dolls are clearly not friendly. What makes this story even scarier is that similar things have happened to other people. For example, one woman claimed that she saw a ghost standing on the platform. When she took a photo of it, the image turned out to be a horrifying mess. Some believe that this is proof that the station is haunted, and it's not the only evidence we have. After all, there are also rumors of a headless woman wandering the station. Some say that she's the ghost of a woman who was beheaded by her lover. Others say that she's the ghost of a woman who committed suicide. Either way, she's clearly not happy. If you ask me, I'm not sure what to believe. But one thing I do know is that I would never go to this station. Looks like the perfect setting for a horror movie. Just imagine being stuck on a platform with dozens of creepy dolls all around you. You can hear the sound of footsteps behind you, and then suddenly, one of the dolls turns around and smiles. It would be enough to give anyone a heart attack, and it gets even scarier. If you look closely at the dolls, you'll notice that they're all wearing name tags. Each one has a different name, but there's one name that keeps popping up again and again. And that's the name of the station itself, Kisaragi. It seems as if the dolls are trying to tell us something, but what? Is it a warning or a threat? Who knows? I wish I could tell you more, but unfortunately, this is where the story ends. That's because no one knows what happened to Noboru after he posted those tweets. Some believe that the dolls took him, that they dragged him onto the tracks and crushed him to death.
Ow.
Others believe that he was taken by the spirits that haunt the station. Whatever the case may be, Noboru is gone, and we may never know what happened to him. But there is one thing that we do know, and that is that we should never go to Kisaragi Station. It's a place where nightmares come to life, and where the dead refuse to rest in peace. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe.